Welcome to Bootstrap Businessmen, the podcast devoted to the aspiring entrepreneur on a shoestring budget. Here are your hosts, #1 best-selling fitness author Dale L. Roberts and the Midwest's best, Kevin S. Allen.
Bootstrap Businessmen podcast devoted to the inspiring of the people that don't have much money and want to start a business, but yet they don't have the know-how. And fuck
from the bottom,
dude.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, we started from the bottom and we worked our way to
here,
to the left, to the right.
Dude, how you feeling tonight, man?
You can tell I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
I got a confession to make, dude. My fucking back is killing me, man. I've been. I know I shouldn't do this. There's certain ways I can sit for only a certain amount of time, so I can't sit on a floor. This is one of the reasons why I've taught people in meditation that essentially. Let me close out some of these windows because I'm kind of fucking buffering here. Leave.
Buffer.
Leave. Yeah, we don't need fucking Bruce Lee lips here. We just need you and me. You and me.
Dude, back when dial-up was the only form of internet, I used to think buffering was part of the scene in porn.
yeah, it was almost like a still shot. So you can just enjoy it a little bit more in that particular scene. You're kind of like, I didn't want to get that one.
Like some guys junking
spots, you know? It's kind of like, no, I didn't want to. No, it's stuck on that dude. I don't want to see that dude.
I don't want to see his balls.
So yeah, I've been putting in some extra time, as you know. Been plugging away at putting some more fiction work out. I had an ambitious goal at the very beginning of the month of doing about 3 short stories, 4 days per week. I have not been able to do that. And I'm not going to make excuses. It's just I haven't been doing it. There are certain things that distract me. There are certain things that have worked, some things that haven't worked. I have found 2 methods. And actually, I'll be putting this up on my Self-Publishing with Dale L. Roberts in kind of a cheeky fashion. But Google Dictate is one of the ways I've been doing some of the books. But herein lies the problem is Google Dictate. Unfortunately, it's not like Dragon Naturally Speaking that it's going to learn your dialect or it's going to know specific words and when you correct them, it'll go back through and correct them. No, it's a treasure. It's a treasure trove of crap. And I sent you a sentence. I was like, look at this sentence. What is this? I'm wondering if I'm insulting somebody in another language when I, put some of these things. So yeah, Google Dictate for the fiction work. And there was a plus. Okay. The plus was it's simplistic and it's exactly what Kelly is looking for in producing good fiction work that people want to buy. Now, here's the issue when I actually write. Is me, I take a lot of pride in what I'm putting out. So even if it is fiction work, I speak intelligently. I write intelligently. I speak it. Says the guy who just opened up Bootstrap Businessmen like a complete fucking maniac coked out of his head. I am not myself, by the way.
He's not. He's on coffee.
No, not even coffee, actually. Energy drinks! I had some yerba mate. Have you tried that stuff before?
No.
Well, you know what, dude? Here's what you got to do. When we get disconnected here, you're going to wait, and you're going to go into the YouTube video, and you're going to go into the description in the link below.
Click the product link?
Click the product link, man, and order yourself a 6-pack of some yerba mate. It's not bad, actually. It's I think it's like an Australian product, or I don't know, fucking looks Jamaican or something, but it is good. It actually is pretty good. It'll get you all revved up. I had it for lunch today just before we went into the gym. Primarily today was just about trying to limber up. I got to go back into kind of rehab exercises because, well, as I was telling you, I've kind of ramped up some of the things and a very comfortable spot for me. It's kind of crazy. I'll go and I'll sit at my coffee table with on the floor with the couch supporting me. Now, it feels really nice, but herein lies the problem is my low back, which, you're supposed to have a natural arc. So here's my belly, here's my butt. You're supposed to keep that natural arc. Well, what ends up happening is when you kind of slump in a chair or you're not sitting up straight, it'll start to roll it forward. Well, as you know, I have a severe injury there. And even though I've managed to stay pain-free, if I don't take certain precautions, it'll aggravate it again. Now, thankfully, I've nipped it in the bud. I was sitting there thinking, I got out of the gym the other day, I was working my legs, and my back is kind of hurting. I'm kind of going, I only did freaking squats and lunges and no weight, just all body weight, high repetition. Never really bothers me other than just makes my legs a little bit sore the next couple of days, but my back was sore. I'm thinking, I'm running through my head. I'm like, there's no way I could have injured myself. What the fuck did I do? And I'm like, and then it hit me. I went to go sit down in that comfortable position at the coffee table, ready to do some writing. And I go, oh God, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, I can't. And it feels so comfortable because
Sure.
I can literally sit there for about 3 hours at a time. I can write an entire short story in one sitting for 3 hours and not be bothered because it just feels nice, because then I'll extend my legs and it stretches out my hamstrings. Well, the problem is it's at the detriment of my low back. So,
dude, that sucks, man.
I got to kind of take a step back. I need to step away from the weights because, as you know, if you have any kind of a spinal injury, and hopefully people can learn a little bit here. It's funny, we're bootstrap businessmen, but I'm going to give you guys some exercise tips today. You got any kind of spinal injuries, it's always a good idea that you don't load more weight onto your body. Now, hear me out on this one. You're going to be like, oh, 5 pounds will be fine. 10 pounds will be fine. I want you to think about this like a car. Okay. I think it was a number of years ago. Do you remember a kid named Timmy Marvin?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Over from Republic. Kid had a car at one point. I think it was Timmy, but big kid. But
yeah,
he was a butterball of a kid, and I imagine he probably still is. We ran into each other a number of years when we were out of high school, and I think this is when he shared the story with me that he had a car. He's riding along, and it is a pretty beat up car,
Right.
Fucking. It was a scab on a good day. At any rate, though, he's riding along in Tiffin, and literally just like loud explosion, and his car just goes boom, because he's just driving along, nothing fast, nothing crazy. His wheels shot out, like literally, because his axle was bad. Okay, so his axle wasn't supporting the wheels anymore, and the wheels, it was like, I guess it rusted so bad on the axle. There was nothing else holding this wheels into place. So they shot out. So if you've got a bad spine, all this to say this, big shout out to Timmy Marvin, representing the pubes out in Republic, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Out in the bad town of R, the rated R town.
Arlick.
Small in size, pig in heat. You remember when Russ actually, it's so far out of the fact here, the police can't go bust Russ because he was a teenager, for fuck's sake, when he did it. He used to say small in size, big in heart, but he went in and he actually vandalized the sign to where it said small in size, pig in heat. Because he scratched out the R and then turned the B into a P. Yeah.
Getting a little
Classic
echo.
For us. You all right?
Echo.
Oh, time to put the headphones on. What up?
Echo. Niner. Tango. Charlie.
At any rate, though, so think of your body like a car. Okay, you've got a bad, you got a bad wing, you got a bad back, most importantly. Okay, anywhere on your back, whether it's up here in your neck or you're going down to your ass. Okay, anywhere on the spine, you got a spinal injury. I want you to think of it kind of like Timmy Marvin's busted ass car. Okay, and I'm not going to, make any kind of jokes towards Timmy's size or anything else like that. He's got he's working with what he had at the time. But I think any amount of weight in that car was going to create that situation. And the thing is he shouldn't have had that car on the road, although it's my understanding he wasn't even aware of it. But let's just say he was aware of it. I guarantee you he probably wouldn't have taken that car out on the road, and he probably would have alleviated the situation and a lot of the issues and problems. So that's the same thing when it comes to your spine. You can't play around. So you can't be going and, some people like, oh, my doctor gave me a weight restriction of 5 pounds. I would really recommend that if you ever have a spinal injury of some sort and you're in pain or it's inflamed, do not touch a weight. I'm telling you this right now. Do not touch a weight. Sure. You need to get the inflammation down, and you got to get it to where your body can start to heal. So you need to, first of all, it's almost like an injured back, okay, is like a child throwing a temper tantrum. And now pretend like you just go over to that kid and you ask him while he's throwing a temper tantrum, you go clean your room up. Do you think he's going to go clean his room up?
No.
You're only going to go and fuck shit up and really make more of a mess.
Gonna start flailing around and kicking and screaming.
Yep, punching a hole in the wall, setting the place on fire. So you got to get it to where the kid calms down, and then you can start to really coax it. So this is one, my strategy right now is I got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So I got to take a step back. The very first thing is, today was just about focusing on just trying to get this back to relax. So I went into the gym, did just a mild warm up on the treadmill, slow pace, because that's a problem is once my back starts to light up, that left leg will start to light up. And if I use that too much, that sciatica wakes up. Yeah, it's like it's seriously, once when that sciatica wakes up, it makes that back injury seem like a walk in the park. And, I don't know, have you ever had any kind of back issues yourself, man?
No, I got to be honest with you though, dude, between my shoulders, the shoulder blades, just off to, maybe it feels like it's off to the right-hand side of my spine and my shoulder.
Yeah.
When I turn like this, it feels like it's pulling, like a pulled muscle. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I overdid anything, but as far as back issues, nah, man, I've never really had anything.
That's good, especially from your years. I know you and Walt used to do a lot of skating, man. You guys did it, or as some of the old people would say, you did a lot of skateboarding. Skateboarding.
Get the woods and on the wheels. Yeah, man, dude.
You guys would be mauled up, man. Busted up knees, arms, elbows, fucking.
I still got scabs to prove it, man. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Just it's you guys.
Scars.
Hardcore. So that's surprising to hear that you held up better than I did all over the. But then again, I guess I had that whole 8-year stint of fucking wrestling.
I was gonna say wrestling and skateboarding. I mean, there's a big difference. There was another person plopping on top of you as you're going down. So yeah, no, dude. I remember some of the times. Oh my god. Idiots. I mean, we were complete idiots looking back on it now, dude, hold on to a car, being pulled down the road, and hit a ramp or something. It just retarded. Like, what was wrong with us, but you're larger than life at that age. You know what I mean? Like, you're invincible.
Yeah. That's exactly, I think, the way I looked at it when I went to pro wrestling. See, even though you guys were doing a lot of skating, I tried it. I fell down a couple times, and I was like, fuck that. That looks cool. I'll just watch it. Now, the problem is there was a wire or connection that was a little loose in my head years later when I'm watching wrestling. I watch wrestling, and I was like, done, gonna do that. And I even watched a documentary where dude is getting fucked up. He's got every injury in the world. I watched that, and there was a brief moment, a little wire just went. I was just like, that maybe not be a good idea for me going to wrestling. And then for some reason, I was like, he's probably stupid. And it just completely disconnected. Yeah, it wasn't that he was stupid. No, it was, it's a natural part of the business in pro wrestling. You can try your best not to hurt yourself. And sometimes the dumbest things, like for instance, okay, so 2008, June 2008, I had to duck out because of the severe back injury. By about October to November, my doctors had released me, but I was so scared shitless of getting back in the ring. I never got back in. Also, I had a girlfriend who's dead now. She was kind of it's always important. For some reason, everybody always laughs. I'm like, yeah, I had a girlfriend. She was kind of a bitch. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, she's a bitch. That's okay. She killed herself. And everybody's just like, oh, God. And I'm being serious. So just making it kind of awkward. Well, she detested wrestling. In fact, it got to the point where it was just like, she might as well just come out and said, look, you're not going to get laid if you talk about wrestling anymore. So I just literally had to kind of bottle that shit up because, to be honest with you, man, I was in a tough time in my life. So, the fact that I'm a guy and she made something easily accessible at the cost of me not talking about something I really enjoyed. And I was like, okay, looking back now, I'd have been like, fuck you. I'm going to watch my goddamn wrestling. I'm going to talk about it all day long, and I'll suplex you through a fucking glass table, bitch.
Oh, man. Well, let's see, 2008, 8 years ago. What were you, 31?
Yeah, that would probably about 31. They're
still baby yet.
Yeah, it was rough. I got the injury, and of course, I'm just scared about getting back in the ring. Well, along comes this crazy girl. Her name is Kelly. I don't know if you know her. And she was a lot more accepting. You know, the greatest part was when I met her father, I was like, I love you. And she was like, are you talking to me? I was like, no, I'm talking to your dad. Shut up.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
you know, he loved wrestling. That was one thing that he and I connected on in so many levels. And
Nice.
he was just an amazing guy. But you know, I wouldn't say he was the main reason why I jumped back into the wrestling ring for the cup of coffee, but there was a part of me that wanted to brag and show off to the person, you know, that really did capture my heart, and Kelly. And it backfired on me. She freaked out, and so we don't do that anymore. And to be honest with you, when we moved out here to Arizona, we had the intention of going and, you know, I was going to find some feds. I was going to work for them. But then I started really kind of sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, this is a young guy's sport. This is for guys in their 20s to their 30s. And I could go into the ring and I could work it. And I could be safe, you know, things like that. But I was just like, do I really have the heart? Do I have what it takes to, you know, get another injury that could possibly, you know, cripple me? And that was what really was kind of the scary thing. But all that to say this, it was like sometimes the slightest thing. So my first return into the ring, I was doing an interview segment with a guy named Jimmy Jacobs, whatever. That doesn't really count, you know, because we beat him down and things like that and cut a promo and blah, blah, blah. Well, the actual first appearance back in, it was a 6-man clusterfuck, as I like to call it. It was a 3 tag teams, and it was myself and Dustin, Irish Airborne, also known as Ohio's for Killers now, Dave and Jay Christ, and then Aaron Extreme, and Doug something. I know his part of it. Well, pretty much the promoter knew what he was doing. He was trying to protect me. He knew I had an injury. He knew it was my first match back, so he wanted to kind of get it to where any kind of faults or ring rust I had, he wanted to cover that up. One point or another, I take a whip. Okay, now a whip is, you know, when somebody throws you, you know, grabs you by the arm and whips you off. Okay, so I take a whip into something or rather, and normally I can handle that just fine. I take a whip over towards wooden ring steps. Now, under normal circumstances, simple enough. It sounds like it's brutal, really something you can wake me up out of a dead sleep and I could have done. Like a dumb fuck, though, I run into the damn thing, and it scrapes my entire leg and leaves a huge welt. So, and it made it uncomfortable for a while. And, you know, I'd been training my ass off. I think I ended up putting on like 10 to 15 pounds during that period. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I was never a type of person that did any kind of illegal substances like steroids or anything else like that. But I would take some test boosters, you know, get some test boosters over at like GNC or there was like a nutrition, which actually I'll be coming to town. You know, you and I will have to pay a visit to them. Their Nutrition X, I think is the name of the place. But they hooked me up with some great test boosters. And I was able to kind of get into a good cycle. And they actually gave such great advice, you know, to where they're like, okay, you're going to cycle like this, and you're going to go ahead and get these, take these other ones post-cycle, so that way you can make sure you don't get any bitch tits. So I was like, cool, don't want bitch tits. That's I got in pretty good shape, you know, because I'd lost. I mean, you're talking about a guy that 2008 when I left, I was in, you know, the lower 220s at about 40% body fat. And you fast forward to about the time that I was considering getting back in the ring, I was about 170, and probably about the build that I am right now. So I just, knowing I was going to get back into the ring, I started just training like a son of a bitch. I mean, I was doing shoulder loaded squats, even though I shouldn't have. I was eating, and that was when I was meat eating. So of course I'm just eating a shit ton, you know, and works out perfectly because, you know, when you're, you know, at the time I was just, you know, dating her, you know, Kelly is a vegetarian. So of course the meat's all over me, you know, I get all the meat. So, but yeah, that's all to say that, you know, we kind of rabbit trail, dude. I got a question for you, man. So how was your trip? Where'd you go? And you have big plans for your business. And I think it's really something that would love to kind of hang out on for, you know, for a little bit, because I think it's kind of intriguing. And I think it's something people can learn.
Yeah, man. I was listening to your story there and stuff, and I always love hearing it. And the context you were just talking about, you know, kind of not overloading yourself. Tiny mistakes make big differences. You know what I mean? Right. These are things, honestly, dude, these are things that people can listen to, not just for wrestling, not just about your body, about your business.
Yeah.
Don't overload yourself, or you will be that car that the wheels fall off, right?
You'll be poor Timmy Marvin's car.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be, what is the saying? Be detailed, but not too detailed, um, tasks are great. You get to a point, I think, honestly, in any business, anywhere, where you have to start making decisions like, am I going to be able to handle all of this on my own? Right.
True.
So, and that's kind of where I'm at a little bit on certain parts of it. I still haven't pulled the trigger yet because I'm guilty just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to control everything, right? Because you feel that you're the only one that can do it the way that you do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's true. You are that only one, but we have to remember we can coach and train people to get 90% of the way that you would do it, right? And if somebody else is doing 90% of something and there's 10% of that I got to pick up, cool. Because I'm not doing 100% of it, I can pick up 10%.
Exactly.
Right? So
it's working smarter instead of harder.
Yeah, but just great story, man. I was sitting here thinking, I was like, yeah, man, it's just like business. If you overload yourself too much, you're gonna fail. You're gonna lose clients. You're gonna lose customers. Your work is gonna be sloppy. It really will. Yeah. Because you're gonna feel like you have to get it done really quick. So you just don't put the detail in it. As far as the trip, man, we went to Siesta Key. Again, I told you the other night.
I'm sorry. Where is that located at, bro?
That is southwestish Florida Panhandle. So it's on the Gulf of Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, we're Tampa. Let's see. No, that's not a good example. Sarasota.
Okay.
Florida.
Yeah.
Literally 10 minutes from Sarasota. So just right down the road. Actually, a lot of the addresses and stuff there say Sarasota versus Siesta Key. So it's nice. According to what we looked at, it was supposed to be the #1 beach in USA. And I'm like, it must be the continental USA because I'm sure Hawaii's probably got a leg up on them somewhere in there. But great time, man. And won't call it a vacation. It was a trip to a new place.
Yeah.
Rained the first 2 days.
Why don't you call it a vacation? Was it not a way to disconnect, or you said it before, but I guess I don't understand why you aren't going to call it a vacation.
Well, vacations are for people that need to escape from their real life, right, or escape from certain things. And I don't feel like I have a life that I have to escape from. So it was just us adding on to, is this another trip, learning, seeing something new to add into our life. And I can't say that I needed a vacation, though. I was pissed I forgot my laptop. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? So, yeah, trust me.
Well, if anything, man, it's a vacation. You're just redefining the definition of vacation. You're making it for the, you're making it now so that instead of saying, yay, I can't wait for vacation, #Friday, it's not necessarily something about that. Yeah, you're just redefining it, man. So I think it's okay to call it vacation. You could call it a holiday.
A holiday. We took a holiday to the bush.
Our English accents suck ass, dude. They sound like someone really they got an Englishman drunk, dropped them on their head, and then they had them start talking.
Well, I feel that it's going to be an episode of one of the shows that we're going to put together as our drunk Irish dad. So we can, kind of tool that up a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, continue, man. So you're headed down to Siesta Keys. You got the ladies with you, of course, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. And Joe.
And you brought that fucking hat. Oh my Lord, that hat. Okay.
Hey, two of them.
Oh, geez. If anybody hasn't watched the last week's episode with Jason, at the very beginning, Kevin shows it, and of course, Jason's got. Oh, that's clutch, man. That's clutch, bro. You gotta. Oh, that's really awesome.
I can go get it real quick. I pretty much wore it the whole time I was there too, except for a couple hours.
Really tan, dude. You look real good.
Oh yeah, crazy sun. The Florida sun will tear you up, man. So we get there. It's raining. Let's see. We got in Saturday. It rained Saturday and Sunday, which was kind of cool. I took a book with me, so I read about 150 pages in that book, took a few naps, just did some quiet time sitting on the screens and stuff on the porch, just let the waves, you know what I mean? Just listening to it, just really kind of disconnected and reconnected to myself a little bit. Yeah. So, you know, and I really started thinking, I was like, you know, I need to start growing and I want to start seeing different things, right? So as we're there, I'm just sitting there and everything, you know, I'm just like, how do I do this? How do I get here? How? Mm-hmm. Sitting out there on the beach one day, literally, this is when, and I was sitting there, I was like, I'm coming down here every quarter. And my wife goes, what? I said, I need to come down here at least once a quarter, spend a week. She's like, well, we're coming too. I said, no, for work, for business, you know, not for pleasure. And so we sat there and talked it out. She's like, you know what? She's like, that is a great idea because yeah, it's money. So once a quarter, take a week, go down, do the same thing that I'm doing here, build and start growing a different area. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing, you know, we're going to have some snowbird partners coming up here pretty soon. I feel anyway. So, when I start getting
don't hold your breath, bro.
Yeah. Oh, no. You know, so here's the thing, man, you know, the family goes where the family goes. Yeah. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, man, just expanding down into those locations, but I need to put myself there first. Yeah. And I'm going to start looking for somebody else to kind of duplicate me, but it's going to take me first. And am I willing to spend $159 on a round trip ticket, fly on some shitty ass airplane down to Florida, jump in a rental car for a week and build my business? Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not just,
yeah, for sure. It's worth it. It's beautiful down there. And you could tell your energy lights up to a certain extent that, you know, it's going to work out really well. So I'm excited for you, dude, for sure.
Well, you know, it's one of the areas. Here's the thing, man. I've been to Florida pretty much up and down both sides of the coast. Hilton Head a few different times, Charleston, Isle of Palms. We've been to Myrtle Beach. We've been to Jersey Coast. You know what I mean? Golf. The only place we haven't been to is California yet. So it's weird. But, you know, all these places never really intrigued me too much. For some reason, I don't know what it is, man, but this captured me. I was like, I want to live here. I want to be here. Right. Yeah. And it's not because it's, you know, it's not the cliche of, fuck, I'm getting old. I want to move to Florida where it's warm and shit. No, there was something about it, you know, just the atmosphere that really touched me. It kind of sat with me a little bit because, you know, I'm pretty laid back if you haven't noticed. You know what I mean? Nothing really gets me too riled up except for GIMP. So, so it just kind of matched my personality a lot. But plus, I got a chance to talk to a couple business owners while I was down there, and you know, they're just getting raped, of course, and because it's a touristy area, so you know what I mean. They think they've got to go with whatever somebody gives them, you know, and does for them. That's what they got. So you know, me, I got to change that. You know, that's the whole purpose I started this. Started doing this is I want to change that. I want to change that whole damn mindset. I want to change the world a little bit, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, so that got me fired up. We spent some time in the sun. My daughter got to drink some drinks and stuff, overpriced drinks, I should say. $9.50 for like little daiquiris and stuff, dude.
Damn, dude. Oh my gosh. That just made my butthole park. I was like, we're going to Kroger's and getting like a freaking whole thing for that much.
Yeah, well, we did. We ended up going and getting a bottle of rum, and she found some little recipe and stuff, so we made that one night. But yeah, no, it was a good time.
How did she feel about her first drink?
It was interesting. I was trying to watch. I had one beer, right?
You're probably sitting there going like this. You're like, here's your drink. You're like going.
Yeah.
Keep it in. Be like, or for that matter, I love this. It was one of the times I stayed at my mom's house a couple times, like a week and a half over in Vegas when she was living there. And I went to one of the casinos. I had $5 in my pocket, came home with $5 and a beer buzz. And I had maybe like 3, maybe 4 drinks, nothing else pounded back. It was over the course of a few hours. So, I mean, it's like 1 beer per hour. So there's no way you can be drunk. So I get home and I walk home. It's about a half hour, 45-minute walk to home. And I get there and she's like, she could smell it on me. So she's just like, she looks at me. She's like this. She's like, you feel good? You feeling okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm great. Thanks. I'm like, why? What's up? She's like, you had a little something to drink, didn't you? And I was like, yes, Mom, I've had that many times. I'm in my fucking 30s. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like 15, like she she just said it exactly like that, where it's like her eyes were smiling, like it was almost like she was just like trying to gauge, I'm like, by that point in my life, in my early 30s, when I'm visiting her, yeah, I had my fair share of alcohol stories. Let me tell you.
Yeah, Mom, let me share some stories with you.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, no. Actually, she probably has gotten a couple of the stories before, and I'm sure she can fill in the blanks, Shoot, Walt, I think, fulfilled some of those things. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
What are you talking about?
You guys fucked it up for me.
What are you talking about?
Walt coming home all fucking piss-ass drunk and
never happened, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's totally innocent. That your halo's being propped by horns there, buddy. Just want to let you know.
Never happened. Oh, I tell you what, man. Your brother and I used to, we'd drink whatever we could drink, man, between Tiffin and Attica, going and coming. I think what was it, a little Renault or something he used to drive around.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and we'd have, I can't remember. It was his girlfriend at the time. I remember that. Yeah, she was a little bit older than us. And she would buy him like a 12-pack of Keystone Light. And he'd have it buried in his trunk, and then we'd get it out on the way to school to Sentinel for carpentry class or whatever, And then on the way back, we would drink it. A couple times we got into some wild turkey. And we're going to school, mind you. Saw your brother one day. We drank so much, and there was a little bit of other substance and stuff too that was smoked that morning. And I saw your brother in government class because I was just like, fuck. Goose is up there talking. You're just kind of like, like, oh man, you get out of here. Room's spinning, I look over at your brother sitting over here. His head just went right on the desk, man. Passed out. Boom. In
Fucking
government class.
Way.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did they just leave him there?
Yeah, kind of let him sleep to the end of class and stuff. And then, yeah, he was, dude, how they didn't know that we were drinking or smell it, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't give a shit. One or the other. They probably didn't care, to be honest with you.
Well, he had a great he was real composed whenever he made it home. So I could never ever tell that he was drinking or on drugs. So and at that time I didn't really know the smell of pot, so I wouldn't have known any different on that.
I never said anything about pot.
Okay, all right, yeah. You guys were smoking meth, of course.
No. There was another time. Oh, dude, the story's off. I guess it's not the time for that. But anyway, smoked so much, drank so much at a kitchen table, sitting there looking over, look over at him. Head slams right on the kitchen table, just out cold. Seen him do that a couple times. Yeah. Well, high school kids, you don't know how to handle yourself. So.
Oh, heavens no. The funny thing is, even though I had that early exposure to alcohol and pot, the funny thing is I really don't think I'd ever really considered till I was outside of college. I was in college. I had a handful of instances of binge drinking and such, but as soon as I got out in like 1995-ish to 96-ish, that I started to kind of go, and maybe I'll go ahead and give that a shot. And it was all downhill from there because, it was like I automatically assumed if you play in a rock band, you've got to drink, and what a dumb thing to buy into. But at any rate, boy, we shifted off down another alley. I wanted to kind of stick around and talk a little bit about Siesta Keys. So Man, I'm really curious. I want to learn just a little bit more because obviously you've got a game plan, and there's something I would love to kind of share with you, if you don't
Okay.
mind. So this is something I learned from my good buddy JB, good old Jason. And one of the things he said is when you're training people, don't do it more than once. Okay. Now you're probably sitting there thinking like, well, what if I've got to hire somebody new? Once, train once. So what he would do to train up any virtual assistants that was working for him within his self-publishing business or his drop shipping, he would video it. He would videotape it, and he would, try to do a pretty much like an outline of what he wanted to talk about in the video. He would record the video, and he would just, kind of put it like at a Dropbox of some sort, or, like a cloud drive of some sort. So he would have that available. So that way, when he hired somebody on, part of the prerequisites was you need to train up, you need to watch his video. I believe he would pay the virtual assistant for the time watched for that. And it worked out so much better because he only had to teach them once. And person bail on him, that's okay. He's got the video, just train somebody else.
Right.
Obviously he wants to hang on to somebody and, get them to work for him for the long term. So yeah, that would hopefully you can get that to that point. And I think that you and I are starting to get a great and firm grasp on video production.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's actually a great idea. One of the things that I've learned over the years and stuff training people is it's best to do it, like you said, kind of one time. Little different situation. The video actually sounds like a great idea. I was thinking more of like a group, bring a group in. But the only thing that I'm going to do, what I'm truly looking for from somebody, I'm going to ask them one question, and it's what motivates you. Okay.
Yeah.
And if anybody that answers money to me, that's not who I want.
No.
Right. If somebody's looking now, the perfect answer is, honestly, I'm looking to change the course and the direction of my life. The situation that I'm in, locked into 40, 50 hours a week, I'm not getting time to spend with my family. I'm looking to be able to create a little bit of freedom. And also, if there's the way to help somebody along the way, that's what I'm truly looking for. Dude, money, hired, done. You know what I mean? I will invest in that person because they have a reason, right? They want to help somebody, but they have a burning reason internally that's going to propel them in that direction. If somebody says money, dude, if you don't hit it fast enough, those people are a dime a dozen. You're going to be turning and burning. You're not going to be able to really coach anybody because they're going to be looking for the next quick buck, right? And I'm sorry, and this in the business with self-publishing, and same thing here. If you want to truly create residual or passive income, it takes some a little bit of efforts, up front, some heart. It's not for pussies, man. To be honest with you, it's not for the faint of heart. If you can't eat ramen noodles, if you can't drink tap water with ice, made from your freezer versus buying bottled water or going out to eat or spending $300 a week on groceries, you're not going to make it happen.
No.
Okay. There's going to be a little bit of sacrifice. It's going to have to come in place somewhere. And it does. I hate people that say that you don't have to sacrifice to do this or do that. That's bullshit, man. You do. Because we don't have the luxury, you don't have that safety net anymore of the, if you will, steady paycheck or whatever and stuff, to keep you stuck in the rat race, keep you stuck in the game, keep you stuck in a cycle of spending $150, $200 a week on groceries. So you have to go back to work to buy the groceries, to pay the car payment, to pay the mortgage or the rent, whatever the case is. So you're stuck. You're literally stuck in the system, man.
So agreed, man. It's it's not even just a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. It's not like somebody is sitting high atop their horse and they're saying, well, I'm going to keep this person locked into their job. No, it's not necessarily that. It's just it's by design the way it's made. That's the way it's made. Don't like the game, then fucking quit. That's as simple. I didn't like skateboarding because it was beating people up and it was hurting me every time I fell. I stopped. So that's the nature of the game. So you're working at a grocery store, you're getting paid minimum wage, naturally you're going to go, okay, well, I can save some money because I get an employee discount. So I'm going to go ahead and spend it. So you end up taking your paycheck and you invest into the very employers that are employing you. And then at the end of the day, You got nothing to show for it. Now, some people are going to go, but Dale. Okay, your butts ain't going to pay the bills. Your butts aren't going to be able to get you. The only thing your butts are going to do is hold you back, unless, of course, it's the rear end that's holding you up, and you can get your ass moving. So there's a huge difference between butt and ass. You move your ass. So
your ass.
People that just will keep themselves locked into a place. And you're so right. Here's a great example, and I think it really serves really well for anybody that wants to do something better for themselves. And if you're looking at moving up in any type of a company, here's a great example. When I worked for Bethesda Gardens, by the time I made it to Bethesda Gardens, we were here in Arizona. I had worked my ass off over in Amazon. I was there for 2 weeks before they had actually, and I was only temp help, by the way. They had already promoted me to ambassador for receiving, which meant that I trained other people coming into receiving. They just liked my natural managerial skills. It was something I picked up. It's something I'd refined. My leadership skills, just were second to none. See, this is the thing, is I always have communicated to people, look, we do jobs to get paid. Let's just get that off the table. Yeah. If you're going into a job specifically for money, okay, I'm going to tell you, unless you're in stock trading or something else like that, which, by the way, even then, if you're just focused 100% on money, you're going to be a miserable son of a bitch. I'm going to say that right now. And one of the nice things about me being in the healthcare industry, I've been in it so long. I had such a love, and I still do have a love for senior citizens. I love interacting with them. I love the challenge of being able to connecting with them and being able to get it to where I can take a person who said, that had 80, 90 years old, say, I've never done that before. It was the best party I've ever been to, or I've never been to this. I've never been to that. I've never done this, never done that. It was so amazing. It was like a feather in my cap. Didn't give a fuck about the end of the day, the paycheck. The paycheck was wonderful. The paycheck's going to fucking come no matter what. It's a fucking day job. So here's the really cool thing. One day, I'm over at Bethesda, and I'm just in like the activity area, which was just freaking ridiculously. It was absurdly huge. Like every other assisted living place, it's like the size of a fucking closet, even if you have that at all. Well, I had an entire floor. So
wow, that's awesome. I was going to say they're usually really small. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cleaning the place up, and I'm just picking it up, and it's like somewhere about like, I don't know, it's like close to suppers, because it was really empty. So if like 4 o'clock comes along, the place is a ghost town because everybody's in the dining room.
Sure.
They don't serve until like 4:30, 4:45. Fuck it, they're already up there. They're like, I'm ready to eat, need my coffee. They're ready to go ahead. And so I'm down there, and I'm picking it up, and I just noticed a dude coming down. There was 2 ramps that go into like the area, and I just, you can always hear when somebody's coming along, and I just peek over, and I do a double take, and it's the president of the company. Unannounced. The guy just walks in. Now, mind you, the only reason why I had a little bit of a leg up on most people was I had a video that had to plug into our pretty much it was like an internal TV system, and he was on it. So I would go into my back room, and I would see his image on this thing, and he'd be interviewed. So I'd see it quite a bit. So I'd already memorized who the president was.
Sure.
Now, if you were ever to like quiz the residents who it was, or most of the staff, they probably wouldn't know who the hell he was. But this guy comes walking down, immediately see him. It's almost like a superstar. I was like, sweet. I was like, go up and I didn't even pause. I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Dale. I'm the activities director. What are you doing here? I'm like, and he was kind of like looking at me like surprised, like, I don't know, like not many people would do that. Well, that was one of the things that I was able to kind of just talk with him for a minute. And I was like, hey man, come here. I want to show you something really cool. You got a minute? He's like, yeah, sure. Come over, show him the chapel and things like that. And he's like, I've heard a lot of great things about you. And he and I just started getting talking, and he wanted to know what I was, what are you in the business for? What is it that you enjoy about your job? And it almost like turned into like a pseudo interview, but it was more of like a conversation.
Sure.
And I told him, I was just like, what would really make my day? I was like, I would love to have the opportunity to share some of the things that I've always, learned, and I want to pass it off to other people. I was like, I really want people to know that this job is the most amazing job in the world. And I will say that to the day I die. Being an activities director was the most fulfilling job that I had. Now, let's just say job is the key word. Most fulfilling
job. Right, I was going to say
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't consider writing being a job necessarily. It's a lifestyle.
Passion. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it's a passion. So, and I was very passionate about that job as well. And, I communicate this. Well, within a week or two, I'm presented by my regional boss coming all the way up from the president of the company, we want you to be the mentor of the company, the activities director mentor. And I was like, what? I was like, but I haven't even been here a full year. And they're like, it's okay. You know, we understand that. Can you be able to go fly out for orientation? I was like, I can't afford it. They're like, it was almost like, silly boy, we pay for your trans. I was like, and it wasn't like I even got like a per diem or anything else like that. You know, they literally were just like, yeah, here's the company card. Go ahead. Whatever you need to get, go ahead, get it. I was like,
yeah.
And of course, you know, me, I'm like going out and I'm still eating like a fucking bird because I'm like, I feel wrong about this. I'm like, and they're like, they laugh like, go out and get some damn food. They're like, stock your hotel room up. You need to, you know, live comfortably. But it was all that to say this is that I communicated with somebody that was higher up in the chain of command. First of all, I've never been a person starstruck except for very few occasions. Like when I met Kurt Angle, 1996 Olympic gold medalist, former WWE champion. When I met him, I was like, you're so awesome. I like you.
Nice.
But, you know, everybody else, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, it's kind of cool when you get to see them. Like, you know, Christmas, you know, we got to meet Christmas. I wasn't completely speechless. I still have my faculties about me. Right. I didn't feel, and I felt like that was an awesome interview, by the way. It
was good. It was good. Yeah.
I was able to connect with her, you know, because it wasn't like a Kurt Angle situation. I just felt like, you know, hey, I'm connecting with another individual. Yeah, they're famous, but in the same instance, it's just like, but yeah, I talked to them, and I literally, it was like what you say. You know, I could have easily, he'd have been like, yeah, so, you know, what is it you like best about the job? Well, love the paycheck. Paycheck's fucking awesome. Yep. Yeah, whenever I cash that check, tell you what, it gives me a boner, man. And I literally come to climaxing here almost every 2 weeks. Just getting this.
He would have been like, we are paying him way too much.
Right, exactly. You know, and you know, the funny thing is actually, it was funny. I stuck around long enough. The benefits were wonderful with the company. Sure. Seriously, it made it fucking hard to just finally burn the boats because it was such an amazing job. And the nice thing is we had more than enough to pay our bills and still have money left over. And, you know, it was wonderful. But in the same instance, the one thing that you can agree with this, man, you were in a job that unfortunately they're paying you to be away from your family. And that right there is one of the I couldn't live with that feeling. I couldn't live with the fact that what if, you know, she's not here tomorrow? You know, what if I'm not here tomorrow? And I'm like, can I live with this decision that, you know, I'm going to go, you know, play with seniors all day long, get paid handsomely, enjoy what I'm doing, but also in the same instance, sacrifice these valuable moments. Like, you know, she and I got to we went to the gym. We were like, yeah, let's go get something to eat. We went to get something to eat. And then we went to the gym, and then we kind of, you know, fucked around. I was actually just over on Bionic Vapor's Twitch channel, and that's why I was late, because I ended up watching him and cracking up laughing at all his freaking antics. I guess he's in a pissy mood today, and he was taking it out on some of his. Like, some guy came into the chat and was like, "Hey, we're gonna have a giveaway." It was the first thing he said, and he has a meltdown. He's like, "Man, you know, I first, you know, dude. I mean, I don't mean to be a dick. I'm kind of in a pissy mood already, but you know, you come in here and you want a fucking giveaway, and you're always asking for fucking giveaways." And I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I would have busted dude's balls a little bit, man. But he was in a cranky mood. We'll say that. So Bionic Vapor, hopefully one of these days we'll get him on. He's up to 130 followers, man. 130 followers. Crazy. His room had well over 13, 14 people in it, I think, because Kelly was sitting and watching it with me. Yeah. And they were very engaged and such. He's like sitting there. He's like, "Hey, you know, why don't you tell them what, you know, your fiction books are?" And I'm like, "No, there's a good reason why it's called a pseudonym."
Oh man, no, it'll be a trip, dude, once you're out here closer. So
yes,
yeah, and seeing that, and those are nice, dude. You're getting ripped. That's some of the reasons, some of the purpose too. You know, is I'm going to stop here real quick. There's a thought on my mind because somebody was actually asking me about this the other day. They said, "Okay, this is your belief, man." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "This is cool." I'm like, you know, and I said, I never judge anybody by their opinion. I said, it's just my thoughts, right? And he goes, "Well, let me ask you, if everybody kind of did their own thing." So, okay. They said, like, who would make TVs? I'm like, dude, why do you need a TV? And he goes, well, the shows, entertainment and stuff. I was like, to be honest with you, wouldn't it be better to see it in person? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you had the ability to go to a baseball game versus watching it on television? Hop in a car, drive down, watch a wrestling match somewhere versus seeing it on television. These things would still happen, right? And there would still be fans there, and there would still be people coming to see them, and the same things would still happen. Just people wouldn't be glued behind a television watching them. You'd actually get to experience it, right? Yeah. Isn't that a cool thing, right? And
huge,
they said,
yeah, than watching it on television. That's why I tell so many. I fell more in love with wrestling when I saw it live instead of seeing it on television. Television, I fell in love with it, but when I saw it live, I was hooked.
Oh yeah. I can imagine. So they're like, that's an intriguing thought. They're like, well, what about grocery stores? I'm like, well, what about a grocery store? I'm like, don't you think that there would just be open air farmers markets at that point? Mm-hmm. Right.
People are passionate about food. The people that actually, right. There are farmers that love doing what they do. I mean, it's not a job to them.
Yeah. So we got to talking a little more. They're like, all right, we're not going to be able to persuade you. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Because here's the thing, dude. You have to open your mind, right? We have to climb out of the fucking box, burn it, cut it down, pretend like it never existed. Be like when we were 5 or 6 and we would pretend and we'd just, go out back and grow gardens and stuff, right? Have that same amusement with life, dude. Yeah. So supermarket, open air. Farmers growing. The food is still there, right? And you're still going to be accessible to it. It's just not going to be in a supermarket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're like, what about clothes? I'm like, you don't think that there's still going to be like boutiques and little shops and stuff that people are still going to have? Absolutely.
Yeah, there are people that love doing fashion design. It doesn't have to be a job.
Right. So the world of trade is what they were kind of concerned about. Like, what would happen here? I'm like, nothing. I said, actually, I think it would be expansive to everyone. Yeah. Right. If it was more of an open air, like a true free trade versus, setting up a Walmart or, all this stuff. I said, what you're talking about are conveniences. Okay. And unfortunately, the conveniences that, we've all kind of gotten used to over our lives, those creature comforts, they've kind of trapped us a little bit.
Yeah. They have. Yeah, you're so right. It really has. And it's not just us needing or wanting the product, but also we're getting that convenience at someone else's expense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're so right. You're caught on a text, aren't you, man?
Yeah. Well, I've got this has been a crazy week so far. But yeah, no. So they're like, okay, so we're not gonna be able to talk you out of this. I said, no. And I said, I'm not trying to talk you out of your situation. I said, if you come to the point and you want to make a change, I said, then we can sit down and have some conversation. Nice. That's what you feel about that.
I didn't think anybody heard that.
I'm sorry. Dude, I can hear it every time. That mic you got picks up like pin drops. Come on.
Literally, I wasn't trying. Look, I'm turning red. Fuck. Normally I don't care, man. I'm sitting there trying to let you get your point out and not trying to be rude, and I'm fucking farting. Wonderful. No, great business party. Good news though, pretty soon we'll be sharing the same room and you get to smell it.
Oh boy. So nose plug, gas mask, reminder, mental note. But yeah, so here's the thing, man. So that's what got me excited when I was in Florida. Okay. Yeah. There's some properties down there. There's one county, I actually was talking to somebody today about it. 35% of the entire area is bank-owned properties. Okay. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Yeah. Fortunate for somebody that is maybe looking for something, though, at the same time, because your money's going to go a little farther. And it's kind of cool because the area is, I think they said it's 3% a month that the property values and stuff are starting to come back in Florida. Wow. So yeah, if you don't do something within the next 5 years from now, that $100,000 house is going to be that $600,000 house again, like it was back in 2006. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess what I'm doing right now is I couldn't see beyond what I was already doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So this trip helped me. And this is this is what I was telling you and everybody else and stuff that'll listen, man, is take yourself and put yourself somewhere. If it's something that you want, put yourself there.
Yeah.
Okay. So put yourself in the moment. Go test drive an RV. Go jump in that Mercedes if you want it. Go jump in a truck if that's what you like. The RV. Go put yourself in a oceanside condo if that's what you want, even if it's just to walk through it. But just touch it, feel it, put yourself there, right? And so what it does is it opens your mind, right? And once you expand your mind, you can't go back. So unfortunately, I can't go back. You know what I mean? And, but I'm excited about that because I can't go back. There's nothing back here anymore, man. We burned the bridges, right? We did. We're unemployable.
Unemployable, yes.
So
this podcast is primary, prime, thing, because people will probably come back here and be like, so, this one episode of Bootstrap Businessmen, you said the F word at least 12 times in the first 5 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did you fucking see that fucking shit? Oh man, you guys will never hire me. Fucking A.
That's fucking cool. You watched it though. Thanks.
Yeah, did you hit the thumbs up? Did you leave me a good score? You didn't? Okay, you're an asshole. Did I get the job?
Yeah. No? Okay. Honestly, the series of questions, and I still remember because I used to ask those questions. I'm sure you did too. In an interview, there's a whole list of shit that you got to ask people. Dude, I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I could answer them with a straight face. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? I'm like, I would just have to stop and say, I'm sorry, I'm feeding you a load of bullshit right now, hoping that I can get this job because honestly, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But I don't know, man.
I couldn't even see myself getting into that job. Hang on a second. Let me see here. We are now at the 1 hour mark.
Please support the show by simply shopping at Amazon through the link in the show description. Every time you make a purchase through the provided link, a small percentage of sales goes back to support the show. There's no additional cost to you, and it greatly helps us out. Simply go to the link, bookmark it in your browser, and do your shopping on Amazon while you support the Bootstrap Businessmen podcast. Thanks for tuning in to Bootstrap Businessmen.